Wait, what we've got here for you today, hopefully Vertex gets out of bed in the morning, in Peruvian time. But yeah, just to quickly run through here, because I think they are actually starting the match already, so I'll just quickly run through this. So it's just 3 maps are going to be played, one of them's Highland, then they get to pick a map each. All 3 games are going to be played, and it's just the players get some bonus cash per game they win. So Inside Out chosen by Unrestricted and Continental by Cool. And then so we're going to have 3 maps, 4 civs each, just so they have a spare civ. I was actually going to go through the sort of like patch changes from the last community patch update, but I think I'm actually a little bit behind now. The players were a little bit quicker getting stuff sorted out than I thought they would be. I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, Shangri-La I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if it was that. And interestingly, Cool gets the first pick here. I guess maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe they flipped a coin to see who decided. Carthagins, Palmyrans, and Hittites. Oh yeah, and Highlands is going to be played as the 3rd map. If I didn't say that, I can't remember if I did or not. Minoans, and I always like the Amata and the Phoenicians. One of the biggish changes was to the community patch that in the last patch update we did was the reduction in cost for scouts to try and encourage scout to play a bit more. Yamato then get picked towards the end, as well as the slinger having its cost increased a little bit as well to just stop that unit from being massed up quite a lot. But I've already said I'm slightly behind here already, because like I said, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit having to wait a little bit longer. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to get the first game. There we go. So straight in. Normally we have a little bit of delay, but nice to see that they're on top of things. So the first map is going to be Continental, and it's Palmyrans against the Minoans. Interesting, Palmyrans being picked here. I'll just mute the music. That's quite nicely sort of ended the last track as I was going into the games. So yeah, welcome back again to some Return of Rome action. And looks like, yeah, we're already up to speed again. Unrestricted normally puts a little bit of delay in. Interesting to see a little like internal lake on the spawning. In fact, a little couple of them there. That's quite rare. Don't normally see that. It's normally just a solid landmass in the middle. It's definitely not a best of 9. It's not really a best of anything. I don't know if I can turn it off to... Can I just say play all 3? There we go. There we go. Capture age, ready for all situations there. So like I said, Unrestricted on the Palmyrans, which is, I would say, a little bit unorthodox for Continental. Minoans quite often seen civ. Obviously, Minoan's just very strong on any map with any good amount of water on, with the cheaper docks and the cheaper ships. The Palmyrans, meanwhile, just have the more expensive villagers that work a lot faster. I tend to think the Palmyrans aren't very good on water maps because the faster work rate bonus only applies to villagers. It doesn't apply to fishing ships. So like building fishing ships is kind of like going away from your own civ bonus. So I don't really like the Palmyrans too much on water maps, but maybe Unrestricted has some, I don't know, maybe something like 16 vil up, maybe some sort of rush strategy that he's going to try and play for. It's going to be interesting to see what level of gameplay the 2 players are going to be at. I think both players have maybe a little bit rusty. There's not been, like I said, too much Return of Rome action since the last tournament. Like I said, it was 2.5, 3 months ago now. I think they've sort of been keeping up with maybe like other RTS games. I know few players in the community have been playing some of the New Age of Mythology Retold. I have bought the game myself, but I've not actually had a chance to get around to playing it yet. But here we do see Unrestricted coming forward with a villager already. It's at the 14 vil mark at the moment. Doesn't really have anywhere near enough food to be thinking about clicking up just yet, but we do, like I said, have the scouting villager. Obviously, Palmyrans with the extra armor on that villager as well. Makes it a little bit more tougher. If the villagers just get caught out, you can always fight 1-for-1. You have to outnumber those Palmyrans to take them out. Looks like Cool just starting to push the Ibex there. It's a little bit unfortunately sort of pushed up against the wood line there, makes it a little bit awkward. Just notice there's like the bamboo trees on this. This feels like a fairly rare spawn for Return of Rome, but I guess it can happen. And just a little storage pit going up, and might be able to collect some of the shorefish as well. Already 4 fishing boats out in the water. Unfortunately, Unrestricted has gone in the wrong direction here. They have spawned relatively quite close together. Often is the case that like Unrestricted, I think he's, yeah, it's not too unlikely that Cool could have been here or here on the map. But it's a little bit further round. Cool has clicked up to the tool edge. In fact, both players have, and it is 16 up, and Cool up on 20. So obviously Unrestricted going to be up quite a little bit earlier. Quite a lot of idle TC time for both players, actually. Not too surprising when you go up for 16 vills, especially the Palmyrans. A couple of clubbers coming out in that barracks. Unfortunately, is completely on the wrong place. We've got another villager coming forward here now. Maybe this is just to help plant down something like an archery range as well. Or maybe, I don't know, I don't think you'd go for scouts as the Palmyrans. They're a little bit drawn thin. How you doing, Popeye man? How you doing? But you can see, okay, I think you saw the house there, yep. Tool age is in. How is that? How is that only 20 seconds different? Alright, anyway. Excuse me. Obviously, Unrestricted does know where his opponent is now, and Cool must have seen that villager going through. Wall's already going up, so Cool's going to have this little pocket where he's going to keep his villagers protected. Unrestricted, just going for this shorefish, still isn't on the water himself. Scout ship is going to come out, which does mean that this is going to be a little bit vulnerable for Unrestricted. One of the big downsides to this is obviously how vulnerable it is to the water, but the initial axes are in. Needle working hasn't been researched yet. I presume they're on the data mod. I hope they are. I didn't actually check that, but we'll... What's going on? Okay, it's the archery range here that he's just sort of put out a little peninsula of walls. But yeah, the axe is already in, being a nuisance. But like I said, that scout ship, okay, it's got a little bit distracted by that house there. Villagers now taking a little bit of a slapping from those axes. And needlework's still not being researched by Cool. And the first 2 villagers do go. In fact, 3 villagers go down. So I must have missed one going down somewhere. Docks are going up for Unrestricted now. And Cool, you can see he's already 300 points behind. Still obviously has all the eco on the water working in his favour. Archery range now being built. Again, a little bit ways out, but there's new barracks here right on Cool's face. Archery range starting to pump those bows. And I was going to say that's probably going to be the slinger starting being produced by Unrestricted. He's got plenty of stone. I guess he must have been collecting stone. He had quite a lot of stone there. Not sure. Oh no, it's 150 starting. It's been so long since I've cast. I think it's 150 starting stone, isn't it? For some reason I thought it was less. I thought it was like 100, but it looks like Cool's going to lose his town centre here. And he still only has the 3 bowmen. He's got the 3 scout ships. I don't know where these scout ships are exactly. Oh, there's one going around the edge there. But they had town centre already down. Like I said, the rush barracks weren't placed ideally, but Cool was playing very passively in the early game. Another archer range does go up. Again, like I said, he does have the fishing boats, which are going to keep him in there for a little while. A couple of these axes are just getting picked off with the slingers chewing away at the bows here. And Cool needs to sort of, there we go, find the docks here, but now we have scout ship already out, so Cool's kind of missed his chance to punish on the water. The two other scout ships going around the wrong direction, unfortunately, and they're going to need to wrap all the way around the other side of the island here. Unrestricted just smartly, wisely repairing that up. New town centre going up on the wood line for Cool. Like I said, he's not entirely out of this game yet, just because he's had those fishing boats working away from him. But now with the slingers in, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Cool to hold the position. Archery range got destroyed as well there. Cool does have this other archery range up here, which he's still producing from. It looks like he's maybe going to try and go for a counter-attack. Bows crossing over here. I mean, the score has tightened up a little bit, so I don't think Cool's entirely out of the game yet, especially if he can wrap round and sort of punish this shoreline here. That would be very good for Cool. But obviously the immediate problem is this, and especially these 6 slingers here. I don't think I saw stone mining come in yet. No, not yet. In fact, don't think Unrestricted has a market yet. I'm just looking around. It's got a few buildings scattered around the map. Yeah, no market. Okay. So, fortunately for Unrestricted, he sort of noticed those scout ships come in and pulled away all those villagers. And that scout ship, I don't know if that's stuck there, but that's going to get taken down now. And barracks is probably going to go down here as well. But yeah, Cool should just be able to take out the docks here. And Bowman, maybe I'll go to pick up one villager here, although Unrestricted is trying to hit Bowman down. Bowman does have the armor tech in though. Neither, yeah, no. Oh yeah, it does have needlework in, yeah. For some reason I was expecting it to be on 40 health, but I just remembered that we changed needlework, so it doesn't get plus 15, it's plus 10 HP. We did that change like ages ago, I should have remembered that. Let's have a look. So, it looks like Unrestricted, I don't know, a little uncertain as to what he wants to do here. These bows have thrown him a little bit off. He's brought the slingers back. It's just 1 eco kill for Cool so far, but yeah, Cool still 10 eco ahead. And again, I think that's mostly down to the fishing boats. Oh, we might be able to range the villagers here, though. Is he going to be able to pick a couple off? Oh, I think Unrestricted needed to sort of focus the close ones there. Stone mining is in now, so the extra +1 range and +1 attack on those slingers. It's kind of funny, like I said, we had nerfed the slingers in this patch, so they cost a little bit extra food, but Unrestricted is still going for that mass. But actually, no, I guess he's not massed the bows, he's only started with 1 yet. Watchtower being researched now. And Watchtower's part of the new patch is that they do extra damage to ships now. So I don't know if he's going to try and maybe Watchtower the shoreline, or some area of the shoreline to get some control back there. I know, okay. He's just going for forward Watchtower. Just pin Cool in here. He's got a little blinking light. Okay, it's just a couple of Cool's scout ships here. And hello there, Bongo. But yeah, it's I feel like Unrestricted probably could have still tried to like crack the wall here. I don't think the scout ships can range that far. I think their range goes to about here. Maybe a little bit further. I think Unrestricted can maybe have like tried to hit the wall there with the slingers. But yeah, he has lost both of those docks now. The Watchtower is going to be quite annoying. Does have woodworking as well in for the +1 range. Some scouts here actually being built for Cool. Armor upgrade isn't in yet though, so the villagers can fairly easily fight back for the time being. But villagers definitely going to get picked off here, or not. That's Cool. What's Cool doing? There we go, back in for the engage. There's blinking lights all over the map already. Yeah, a couple of the scouts go down just before the upgrades come in. And yeah, needlework making a fairly one-sided fight. But that said, still quite good damage done by Cool there. And a couple of bows still on the blinking away. at some of the buildings. It's just the archery range here. Axe is trying to chase down the bows now. There's only 4 bows for cool still. This bow is probably going to get caught out here. Maybe another villager goes down. It's cool, yeah, could focus that one villager down. There it goes. And so got very scrappy tool edge game. In fact, I hadn't even noticed that Unrestricted got in this little pool there. There isn't much fish in that lake, but there are some, which obviously gives Unrestricted access to water that Cool can't get to for the time being. What is this here? I'm trying to figure out what this little thing on the mini-map... Oh, okay, it's that storage pit there. It was blending in. I couldn't see it for a second there. Alright, KT. I mean, Unrestricted still has a good-sized army, but Cool's been way ahead on eco for pretty much the whole game. Obviously, these are Palmyrian villagers, so they're working that 25% faster. So another villager going to go down, though. It's only the slingers here. And again, these are Palmyrian villagers, so they do have the extra armor as well. But yeah, 12 villager kills to the 9 of Unrestricted. So Unrestricted has managed to kill off a few, because it was 6-6. So where are we killing villagers here? Like I said, there's action all over the map. Might have maybe caught one out over here. He's watchtowering off all the wood lines, spreading Cool thin. But yeah, Cool having absolute domination on the water. Unrestricted's probably not going to get back onto the water. A little bit lucky to have this sort of strange spawn where there's the fish in the centre there. Yeah, it's quite a lot, yeah, 2,600 worth of food in the shorefish there. So that's going to keep him going for a while. Another villager maybe get caught, manages to run away. I was going to say maybe get caught, maybe gets caught out. Words are hard. Stable's been found by Unrestricted. He's going to try and take some of those out. A little forward villager there, quite low in health. Cool still doesn't have needle working in, which I guess he's not under too much pressure at the moment. He just has these watchtowers that are being a bit of a nuisance at the moment. He has actually chopped through there. Does the slinger see that? No, not quite. But okay, the slinger does see some villagers migrating. I don't know if that villager's just doing its own thing on aggressive stance, though. I don't know if Unrestricted has actually noticed that yet. And there's Bowman going down there, being cleaned up by the slinger and axes. And this game has gone pretty crazy. It's quite a crazy one for the first game back for the casting. So I was wondering if we were just going to have sort of some one-sided affairs, but this one slinger did actually manage to take that villager out in the end. That was kind of funny. But you can see they're just all over the map. They're blue and yellow dots, blinking lights everywhere. Bowman going to get the positive trade there. The slinger might come in and take that out though. Again, I don't know how much of this is being controlled. There's not like a huge amount of micro... Okay, the axes are in now though, as that gap has been spotted. And it's 19-19, the eco kills now. KD is still firmly in favour of Unrestricted. I think quite a lot of those early bows for Cool got taken down. And quite a few of the scouts as well got fairly well dealt with. Well, I say fairly well, they lost quite a lot of villagers, so maybe not so fairly well, but they were dealt with eventually. But yeah, a little pocket of villagers still left here for Cool. He still has a handful here, and he has a ridiculous number of fishing boats, 22, 23, 26? How many is that? 26. Although Unrestricted himself, 23 in the middle there. I think he's probably going to be... Okay, no, I was going to say, maybe running out of food in the middle. Okay, there we go, I had a few from the back, so it's 1,300 in the middle there. That will eventually run out, so that might... That lifeline that Unrestricted has maybe needs to find some other source of food for the time being. I think neither player on farms yet, just still relying on that food from the fish. Another watchtower going up. That's not really doing too much, this watchtower here. And actually Cool set up another base at the back here. It still seems like, well, I don't know if Unrestricted himself has noticed, but his slingers at least see it. And just a few towers. And Cool actually up to the Bronze Age. Completely missed that there. And obviously that's going to be a pretty big advantage for Cool. He can maybe start switching in. I mean, he's still going stables. So maybe, yeah, just cavalry. I was going to say, obviously Minoans get that bonus range on their composite bowmen, but a lot of times if you just get to the Bronze Age first, just spamming out a few cavalry, just a very powerful unit to get out on the field. And somewhere Cool is on gold. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but he's getting gold from somewhere. I'm trying to see on the middle, the mini-map, I should say. As the town centre is going to go down again after Unrestricted already destroyed one of those town centres. I'm just trying to go in this gold here, but yeah, the first wave of cavalry coming in. Axes still do some bonus damage, but obviously the cavalry will still be axes 1 for 1. I actually have no idea where Cool is getting this gold from. Oh, here we go. There's a little bit in the corner here, right on the shoreline. Yeah, the cavalry units in. I think this is enough, yeah, axes to deal with the cavalry here. Like I said, they still do the +4 bonus damage. You can see their attack damage, cavalry 4, still applies to the cavalry hit. But these have the speed to zip around, try and find some more targets. And Unrestricted, about 60% of the way up to bronze himself. And yeah, still Cool with the eco advantage. I'm going to have a quick look at the resources gathered here, actually. Wow. 5,000 more resources gathered by Cool at this point. And the cavalry picking off a few more units. Unrestricted's just been trying to spam these watchtowers over the map, just trying to get some sort of map control of some sort. He is going to manage to get himself up to the Bronze Age now. But Cool has been very much in the driver's seat for some time now. But camels is the response. I say power mirrors that get, I think it's the faster moving camels is the power mirrors, if I remember correctly. I think it's the Sumerians that have the extra pierce armor. But obviously, either way, camel's going to be a very nice unit into the cavalry there. Nobility coming in quite nice and early. Cool, actually sound a lot of food here, obviously, with all those fishing ships working. With the fishing ship upgrade in now. Let's have a look, see what's happening on the central pond. I think we're getting to the point. In fact, I don't see any fish left. So the pool has dried up for Unrestricted. And now he's going to be... Alright, yeah, GG just... it's just called GG straight away. I was going to say, I think he's going to be struggling a bit for food now. And yeah, I guess maybe he was just using that as his lifeline and knew he was in a little bit of trouble. But yeah, the initial attack was pretty good from Unrestricted. Took out that town centre pretty early on. I feel like he probably could have. I feel like he could have like tried to break through this wall here. He had 6 slingers at this point. Another 8 slingers, another couple in queue. I feel like he could have just tried to break through here, but then like it felt like he got a little bit distracted by these bows coming into his base. And I feel like I don't know. Maybe just a defensive tower at home. Oh, I guess he was spending the stone on the slingers, so maybe he couldn't do that. But yeah, he pulls a lot of the slingers back, and I think he kills his barracks, but then he just never tried to break the wall. Maybe he just thought Cool had a bit more of attack. But yeah, like he's already got the 3 slingers here, which is kind of, that's already enough. Obviously, Unrestricted doesn't see everything. But yeah, I feel like he could have tried to break in here, tried to punish these villagers. He did build the tower and sort of trap the villagers again. A few legit villagers managed to sneak out here. But ultimately, like I was saying, it's just the fishing boats for Cool were there the whole time. And that just gave Cool enough resources to keep him in the game going strong. And that's game 1 going to Cool. And like I said, we're playing out all 3 games. So even if Cool wins the next game, we will play the 3rd one. Let's have a look, see if we're making the lobby. Okay, so it's Inside Out. It's going to be the next map. Let's go back to the draft. So that was the Power Mirrors. I meant to put a little skill there. Losing to the Minoans. So Inside Out. So we have Cool have the Egyptians available. And Unrestricted had the Hittites. So that you would think would be the more traditional play. Unrestricted may try to go for some sort of rush though. So potentially the Phoenicians may be a little bit better if you want to go for some sort of rush just because they have that stronger early game. But then Cool, because Highlands is the 3rd map that will be played. So maybe Cool could just go Carthaginians to just try and cover off any shenanigans in the early game, though Carthaginians aren't the greatest of inside out maps. Civs is what I was trying to say there. So maybe we do just see a more traditional Hittites versus Egyptians. Looks like they're already in the game though, so I'll get us straight in. Hopefully the little capture age burning bug will fix itself in a second. I've got a 2-minute delay for the... Okay, so so I'm restricted going with the Macedonians. So Cool just goes with the Egyptians. So not really too much surprise there. Macedonians can be pretty decent if you do get to the Bronze Age. They have quite a lot of good military bonuses in the Bronze Age, especially now since we've changed the Macedonian team bonus to the faster working archery ranges. It can be quite easy to mass up those composite bowmen if you get a sort of like chance that the Bronze Age goes long enough that you can tech into that unit. That's actually one of the other changes in the community patch. Is composite bowman is slightly shorter to research now. I think it's 20 seconds shorter to research. I'm actually going to quickly do capture age. Am I just showing the capture age view here? I'm going to be showing this view. I do apologise. This is the screen I was supposed to be showing everyone. Thank you for the follow, Nude. I was actually going to change the stream to be on Age of Empires 1 instead of Age of Empires 2 for a change. Maybe I'll do that quickly now. If I can actually remember how to do it, it'd be a good thing. Categories. You know, I'm not going to mess about with that for now. Hi, Leo. What was the reason for that? Compression already seemed quite popular. Compies. Compies in Return of Rome are not considered that good of a unit because they're just very heavily countered by catapults at the moment. They used to be very strong in early Return of Rome, but then there was a balance change to make stone throwers have pierce armor. And now compies just get absolutely flattened by stone throwers. So compies, I mean, they can still be a very strong unit if you do get the mass up, but it just takes so long to tech into the unit that civs that rely on the compies they're kind of just too slow in the Bronze Age. Come on, Katie, be nice. But yeah, like I said, compies, they're kind of only really ever played by the Minoans at the moment. But we've tried to sort of bring them back into focus a little bit more. Like I said, the Macedonians, they are an option for them here, especially because we changed the Macedonian team bonus. And let's have a look at the map. So Unrestricted has both his berries towards the back here. Cool has one of his berries forward, which is a little bit unfortunate, but he does have one at the back though. We do usually see the players go out with the villagers. Once those berries gazelle And the elephants run out. They'll normally try and put a granary on their back berry bushes, or forage bushes, I guess, in this case. And then it's usually quite common that they'll try and like wall up to the edge of the map here. Unrestricted. It's a little bit less area at the back of his base, which is kind of interesting. We'll make just walling that closed a lot simpler. We'll have access to gold and the woodline and the berries. This one's a little bit more out in the open, but I guess you could wall somewhere between here and here, something like that perhaps. We'll see if Unrestricted does try to go for some early game aggression, because obviously the Egyptians is very, very strong civilization in the Bronze Age. Just the chariot bonus, the best. They just have the best chariots in the game. The Egyptians, obviously other civs have quite strong chariots as well, but just the Egyptian bonus, I think the 33% bonus applying to both the chariot archer and the standard chariot makes both of those units very strong. Don't have to rely on the gold. And also, what they can use with their gold is make those priests. Those Egyptian priests with the extra range. Very annoying to deal with. Pretty good at taking out your opponent's, or converting your opponent's siege. As well as with any other unit, really. Macedonians don't really have any sort of eco bonus, which is one of the major weaknesses of the Civ. Obviously, in the early game, they do have like the extra line of sight bonus for any land units, non-ranged units, I should say. I guess it is technically land units as well. Which on more open maps that can help you find your resources, but on Inside Out, where you pretty much know where all your resources are going to be, it's not as helpful there. But like I said, Macedonians do get the stronger hoplites, but I don't know if we will see hoplites come out here. They get and the conversion resistance is the other thing, as well as the cheaper siege. So, like I said, those priests for the Egyptians can be annoying, but the Macedonian stone throwers will be cheaper and more conversion resistant. So maybe we do still see that unit come out. Like I said, I'm not so sure about the hoplite, just because it's quite a slow unit in the Bronze Age before you can get to aristocracy later on in the game. The Macedonian hoplite's obviously having an extra pierce armor, so it makes him very resistant to that arrow fire, especially if you have the storage pit pierce armor techs in as well. Looks like cool. Already going out for a little bit of early exploration. Both players, 24 vils, and cool. Still quite a little bit short on food here, but Unrestricted going up on 24 vils, only 1 second idle TC. Quite nice there. Cool's actually decided to go out for those forward berries first. That can be quite wise, just because it's if your opponent isn't rushing, but we do see a barracks coming down. That is actually going to get seen though. So it's a little bit surprising there that Unrestricted's gone so close to the wall. So core, maybe a bit. Oh yes, let me store. Very good wattle. Sorry about that. So cool. Should see this coming. Clubber coming out. Cool. A little bit slower. 26 villagers and 20 seconds idle TC time. So it's going to be a whole minute behind Unrestricted here. But yeah, double barracks coming up to defend. And I don't think this is going to get much done. I don't know if this is just a sort of, because you have to build a barracks so that you can get access to archer range and stable. So I don't know if this is just like a fake to just force a reaction here. I don't think this is a rush wattle. I think this is just a fake of a rush, and maybe that's why he built it so close to the wall as well. But it did have the cool reaction with a double barracks. So again, cool would have needed 1 barracks, but he's wasted a bit of wood on the second one, and he felt forced to pull off the berries here. He's gone to the berries at the back. Unrestricted going for his berries here. But yeah, Unrestricted already clicking up. Only 8 seconds idle TC. 27 vils. Cool. Doesn't look like he's going to make... Oh, he has queued up a couple of villagers as the archery range goes up, as well as the market. So cool he's got the resources, but yeah, just needs the 2 buildings to be finished here. So Unrestricted, get himself up to the Bronze Age a little bit faster. And it's the archery range going down. So obviously you need the archery range to unlock the siege workshop as well. Be interesting to see if it is just maybe compies plus siege potentially from Unrestricted. And I got to imagine the Egyptians just going to go with their tried and true chariots. Obviously you do need to research the wheel before unlocking the chariots, which will give Unrestricted that extra little bit of time to set himself up. Obviously if you are going to go for compies, you need to research improved bowmen first as well. So there's that time spent there. Actually, armor for cavalry coming in. So are we going to see a stable being dropped down? It's a siege workshop. Oh, okay, he's already got a stable. So okay, sorry, I completely missed the stable there at the back. Okay, so it's just going to be cavalry in siege, and he's just going to try and crack open the enemy base straight away. And like I said, Cool a little bit behind. Does have the extra villager that's been working away, but a bit more idle TC time. It looks like Unrestricted stopped making villagers, and he's just going to go for the all-in play here. Save as much of that food as he can for military units. And one of the other bonuses, oh yeah, there we go. I was going to say, for the Egyptians is the farms, which means they can get their food eco set up quite nice and well. But I don't know if Unrestricted is just going to hope that he has 800 food left on these berries. I don't know if he's just going to like just try and all in and hope this works before having to be forced onto the farms. First stone thrower is coming out, but it's just being gathered into the siege workshop for the time being. Cool, going for a second TC. He's already built the government center. Wheel still only halfway research, but yeah, 3 town centers. So Cool being very greedy here. He's not made any military units. Only he has the 2 barracks and the archery range, but he's not. I mean, it may make like a handful of chariot archers just to sort of hold some sort of defensive position, but it looks like for the time being he's just setting himself up on the eco. So this push has to work out pretty soon from Restricted. He does have 6 cavalry units and 2 stone throwers, and artisan ship coming in for Cool, but 0 military units. The gate goes down, still only being held by a small wall. Villagers trying to muster some sort of defense. Temple coming down now. Cool only just switching on to gathering gold. Like I said though, Macedonians have that conversion resistance. So whilst you can still convert the units, it's going to take those priests a long time to do that. And in go the cavalry. Quick walls from Cool. Unfortunately not quick enough. One of them just gets missed. I think this is going to be an absolute bloodbath on the villagers here. Plus 4 attack on the cavalry. Villagers hiding in the TC here. Some of the villagers look like maybe trying to pick off the stone throwers at the back. More cavalry flooding in. Stone throwers are going to make very quick work of this town centre. Villagers pop out, and that's going to be GG. And that was over very, very quickly. And yeah, Cool, just a little bit too greedy there. I don't know what he thought Unrestricted would do. That was just like, oh man, yeah. I mean, that was very well played by Unrestricted. He did the little forward barracks there, and it's kind of funny because like if Cool just put the granary up at the back there, he wouldn't have had to. So yeah, Cool essentially wasted. What's that? 120 on the granary, 125 on the barracks. So that's like, yeah, maybe delayed his Bronze Age a little bit. We're having to get a bit more wood for the buildings he needed. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's good to see that both players got a win on the board as well. So, like, in a way, it kind of has become a best of 3 at this point. But yeah, very decisive play by Unrestricted there. Like I said, it was getting to the point where those berries were starting to run out. So, and that, I mean, actually, no, that said, he had quite a lot of wood stocked up, so he would have actually been able to switch on to farms there. But obviously that would have been quite a big investment, and Cool would have been on the 3 TCs. It would have been quite far ahead economically. But yeah, just quite decisive play by Unrestricted there, and well played to him. So it's 1 game apiece. And that brings us to the final map for this Showmatch series, which is going to be on Highland, like I said. Let's have a quick... what have I done here? Let's quit out. There we go. Quickly restart Capture Age, as is tradition. Go back to the draft real quick. As yeah, the players are just setting up the lobby for game 3. And so we had, yeah, the Macedonians being pulled out. The Macedonians are one of sort of unrestricted sort of little pocket picks that you just pull out now time and again. Not many people play Macedonians that much anymore in Return of Rome, just because they've sort of felt like they've fallen by the wayside a little bit. But they're still, like I said, they've got still quite a few good, strong bonuses. Oh yes, Hidden Civ as well. I don't know if they'll remember that setting. You might need to... Oh, huh. I think they might, to be fair, I think they might have been playing Hidden Civ the whole time, just because that's kind of the default anyway. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they weren't. I'm not sure what the lobby settings were. What are we going to see here? I feel like it's going to be very likely to be the Hittites. I feel like that'd be a very ballsy play by Unrestricted to try and pull the Hittites out here. I think it's going to be the Phoenicians for Unrestricted on Highland here. And honestly, it could be either of these 2 picks here. Oh, okay, that's fair enough then. But yeah, I think normally we prefer to use Hidden Civ, because it's like if your opponent picks a certain pick, like if Cool picks the Egyptians, then maybe Unrestricted's like, well, I can counter that with the Macedonians. But then Unrestricted picks the Macedonians, then Cool's like, well, he's picked the Macedonians, so I'm actually going to switch to this other pick, and you get into this like weird dynamic. But so I don't know how, I get, maybe they just picked their picks and just stuck to it. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I feel like we're going to see the Phoenicians from Unrestricted, and like I said, Cool could play either of his 2 civs. Karth, obviously, stronger right out of the gates in the early game, just with those extra shine resources, just so important in Age of Empires 1. But the Yamato, very strong civ, basically from the late, sort of mid to late Tool Age and onwards, just one of the strongest civs in the game. They just have the reduction on the archery ranges of the stables, just make it easier to get those military units, buildings up and spam those units, as well as the cheaper scouts, as well as once you get to the Bronze Age, the cheaper cavalry and archery range upgrades, as well as if you get all the way to the Iron Age, then the cheaper cavalry archers, or horse archers I should say, as well as the cataphracts. Not the best of unit selections for Yamato, but what the units they do have, they're pretty good ones. And let's have a look here. So we're just waiting for the game to launch. So maybe, we've got a lot of messages here. Oh, I think... Unrestricted was asking if you can pick any civ. You might need to just talk to Unrestricted quickly, Wattle, just to confirm. I guess maybe that's what you meant by hidden civ. Just like literally just any civ in the game. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just noticed that Unrestricted spam me with chat messages. Okay, yeah, you saw it now there. All right, just a little bit of confusion over the civ picking process there. Yeah, I think so. I think we have quarter of an hour left until the Red Bull games are supposed to begin. But we've been, I think, making fairly good progress here. And Highland games tend to be some of the quicker games, so I think we'll be fine. And it looks like we've launched the game as well. So in we go for game 3 of our Showmatch series between Unrestricted and Cool. Hope you guys have been enjoying the games. Like I said, we do have another series later between Bongo and Vertex. Again, Vertex, we unfortunately had to penalise Vertex for no-shows, so he got knocked out of the Contenders Clash tournament just because he kept no-showing. So see if Vertex can actually bring his A game out and show you what he's made of. Because obviously he's a very strong player, is Vertex, but he just has an unfortunate knack of just turning up late to games or for not waking up in time for games. So yeah, Phoenicians against the Carthaginians is going to be the play here. And Highland is the map, of course. The Arabia equivalent on Age of Empires 1, I guess. As near as we're going to get. Free hidden civ. I think it looks like they've just gone with their draft picks. But yeah, so we're going to see the Phoenicians from Unrestricted. Straight onto those berries for both players, of course. And we'll see if we have just early axeman shenanigans. Just forward paint by both players, forward barracks maybe, or if we see a little bit more conservative gameplay. Unrestricted actually has a quite defensive position. Wouldn't be too difficult to wall this up. I guess it's reasonably large gap between those two bushes there, but he could give himself the sort of horseshoe is what I was trying to say there. Shoehorn. I mean, I guess shoehorn is a thing, but that isn't at all what I meant. Horseshoe shaped structure for those base there. Cool's, I think, I guess it's sort of a similar case, but a little bit more open on the front there. Could maybe try and wall off just like the corner of the map if the game goes long enough. I'll give him some extra resources just in the back there, which obviously he won't have seen just yet, but a villager has already spotted an elephanto there. Another elephant in the back. And Cool actually going to be the first player to try and grab those central elephants. In fact, he's seen another elephant there. Does he think that's the central elephant? That's kind of funny because I think these are the two central elephants. Or actually no, I think these two are the central, and then there's the little ring around where the other ones can spawn. Because I think the center of the map is actually like right in the middle of this tree line, so the elephant's been pushed to one side. For some reason, Cool hasn't quite taken it upon himself to aggro the elephants just yet. Giving it a little bit of a watch. Surely, I was going to say, surely he grabs both of those there. Okay, so that means if Unrestricted does go to the centre, he's got a fairly good chance of spotting these two elephants here. For the meanwhile, he's just grabbed one of his own elephants. He has actually seen the other elephant there. Obviously, you get two of your own elephants for each player, and then there's 4 in the sort of central area of the map. But yeah, obviously, Cool going to get 2 there, and he's now spotted another elephant there, so he's going to have at least 4 elephants to play with. And Gazelle get a little bit scared off that, but good food supply coming in for Cool. And Restrict probably... Okay, looks like, yeah, he's just going to finish gathering his Gazelle for the time being. That can always be a good thing to just get that done and out of the way, just so now he doesn't have to worry about pushing Gazelle anymore. There's a little bit of food going to be lost to rot just because of all these... Yeah, you can just see... Well, obviously part of it's because it's being gathered. Let's click on that one. Very slowly rots away. So a little bit of wasted food, but it just means you just have it in that area ready to grab. But now we have the forward villager from Cool. So we have 19 vills for Cool. He's making a 20th vill. He is. So he's actually got 2 in queue. So you may want to cancel one of those. It's a little bit short on food. And Restricted. Still making villagers himself, perhaps? Okay, so 21 vills for Unrestricted. And then he clicks up. But only 6 seconds idle TC time. And a little bit more for Cool there. So Cool... 20 vills. So yeah, they're going to go up about the same time. That extra 20, but yeah, that 20 seconds difference will be made up for by Unrestricted having spent the extra time making another villager. Cool has spotted the house, so he knows he's in the right vicinity. That's almost a little bit unfortunate for Unrestricted that what am I trying to say here? That the artifact didn't get spotted, because if the artifact got captured, then Unrestricted would have known that Cool is in the area. Barak's going to go up defensively, though, for both players, in fact. So maybe this is just going to be possibly like a forward stable from Cool, maybe a forward archery range, one of the two. There's still a little gap between those 2 buildings there. But Cool is going to get spotted here. Unrestricted should be able to see this. Doesn't look like... Okay, it has sent a villager out. And the villager gets spotted again. So Cool a little bit lazy with his villager movements there. Normally, if you spot your opponent's buildings, you want to prevent your villagers from walking, just walking into them, giving themselves away. Wall research by both players. So Cool just going for the walls. He's going to have those houses as part of the wall. And he's not done his diligence in doing full exploration yet, so he is actually open here. And yeah, as I was saying before, maybe a better wall would have gone here to here and here to here, although with this he can still wall from here to here, which looks like he's actually going to scout. Okay, so there, fair enough to go. He's doing the due process, but yeah, these 2 villagers are just going to sort of cancel each other out. I think Unrestricted probably could pull the villager back now. He's got himself set up quite defensively with the I nearly said shoehorn again. With the horseshoe-shaped structure. He's not quite gone to the mouth of the opening there. He's sort of used that building wall there. Line getting a little bit involved. But yeah, bows already coming out from Cool, but that archery range was forced to be made at home with that villager being pushed away. So Unrestricted does bring this villager back home now. Woodworking already in for Unrestricted. Get that eco upgrade in nice and early. No actual ranged units out in the field just yet. And it looks like, looks like he did find those 2 elephant at some point and pull those in. Woodworking coming in for Cool. And those bowmen are going to benefit for that, for the range, as well as just the woodworker gather rate. And these early clubmen just going to be taken out. There wasn't too much investment into those. No storage pit upgrades. And the slingers are going to just come out now in defense. So actually, yeah, slinger and bow from Unrestricted. And I feel like possibly now both players have got a fairly defensive position. Like I said, fairly easy walls for both players on this particular spawn. So yeah, both players possibly will just try and work their way towards the Bronze Age. Domestication even. So Unrestricted, obviously thinking this game maybe will go long. Like I said, we've already actually got like a handful of minutes before the Red Bull games are meant to start. So keep an eye. I'll keep an eye on that on my other screen. Let me just check, actually. I have got the... What's going on? Has the stream even started yet? I don't know. Live. Okay, looks like nothing is happening just yet on the Red Bull stream, so I'll just keep an eye on that on my second monitor. But okay, so it has actually walled up the full face of his base now. In fact, I'm going to try and shut down this chat so I'm not getting distracted. Collapse that. Stable going down now, though, as well. And like I said, on this new patch, scouts are a little bit cheaper. I think it's actually 85 food that we have them at now. And they were 90 before. I think some of the... When we were discussing the balance, a couple of people were a little bit scared of going all the way down to 80 food for the scouts. As if you do get a good mass of scouts out in the early game, they are a very difficult unit to deal with if you haven't got the walls up already. In this position here, where both players are fully walled, the scouts do lose a lot of their effectiveness. Just because the scouts' actual attack damage isn't that high, it's more their mobility that makes them more of an issue. Once the wall's up, it just takes scouts forever to do any damage to fortifications, really. Storage pit going up on the gold, and yeah, unrestricted. In fact, both players already going up to bronze, so cool, a little bit faster there. And this slinger going to get punished by these bows here. Again, just not a huge amount of investment by unrestricted into his tool age military, which will give him sort of like a few more spare resources to take himself into the Bronze Age with. Whereas Core's invested a little bit more here. Not a huge amount. And he's going to be able to pick off that slinger as well. And obviously one of the big advantages of going bows is woodworking just helps your economy a lot anyway. Whereas like obviously the storage pit techs for the melee units don't really help you economically. But here we see a large number of archer rangers being spammed out, so it looks like it probably is just going to be the chariot archer from Unrestricted. That said, he is gathering gold. I don't know if that's going to be just for a siege workshop, or maybe we do see compies come out from the Phoenicians here. I would have thought it was probably the chariot archer though. Carthaginians obviously have the bonus of they get nobility free as soon as they build a government centre, which is what Cool is going for here, as well as having those stronger camels, extra HP on those as well. So I think if I do this, yep, we see that nobility pop up. Oh, it literally says it's free there. That's interesting. Oh, this is cool. I don't think they've had this before. I don't think it used to say the costs. Maybe we've been a little bit of an update to the capture age here. So he deletes the storage pit and replaces it with a town centre, and a new town centre going down here on the gold as well. And yeah, okay, so it is just going to be the chariot archers and nobility coming in straight away for unrestricted, I should say, as well. Early cavalry units shouldn't be able to get too much down. Obviously, they're going to be able to take down that house fairly easily. Be interesting to see. I can't remember the stone cost of medium wall. I feel like it might be like something like 120 stone. So unrestricted, I think, would have to gather a little bit more stone if you wanted to upgrade the walls. It's not too pressured for the moment. Chariot archers are coming in now as the wheel has been finally finished being researched. But yeah, like obviously it's going to be a little bit difficult to get that wall up with the bows at the back. And I think Unrestricted's probably just kind of the wall back here is probably going to be the better play. Which he's left a little bit to the last minute, but he does have the first wave of chariot archers out in play. Artisanship coming in as well for the +2 range. Quite a good number of cavalry at the moment, and they will be able to chew through these houses fairly quickly. So Unrestricted here. Maybe a little bit sloppy with the defense. Like I said, I don't think he had the stone to upgrade to medium wall, which would have slowed this down, but yeah, okay. Does manage to get those extra small walls in, and the cavalry are forced back for the time being. There's a couple of units just left over from the tool age, has been a little bit annoying. Going to get swept up by the scout by the looks of it. But Let's have a look. Cool, just building some houses up out the way. But yeah, Cool already on 4 TCs. Obviously, the Phoenicians have the wood bonus still working in their favour at this point. Carthaginians, well, after those initial resources, don't get any extra eco bonus of any sort. They just rely on their military bonuses from this point on, pretty much. And Chariot Archers do have the +4 armor in already, which is going to make them very strong, as well as nobility, actually. So these Chariot Archers are going to be quite resistant. Yeah, +4 attack, metalworking coming in. Much needed upgrade for Cool. And see if these Chariot Archers, I think they were pretty much already fully upgraded. Okay, doesn't have, oh, no, sorry, yeah, that is fully upgraded. I was going to say it doesn't have +4 range, and I remember that that's not how range works. It's +1 for each of the upgrades. But yeah, Wheel, these villagers are always very pesky to try and catch those out. And I think these Chariot Archers should be tanky enough to win this battle. But I don't know if Unrestricted does just want to sit here and take the trade. Actually, probably wants to take down the Scout, because the Scout does do extra damage to Chariot Archers. With the Scout doing, yeah, bonus damage. So, Unrestricted being forced on the runaround. Okay, Priests being added in to try and deal with those cavalry units from Cool. Priests need to move out on the way, though, if they want to get anything done. And Phoenicians do get camels themselves, but you don't really want to get into a camel war with the Carthaginians. Like I said, the Carthaginians do have those camels with the bonus HP. And Astrology come in for the extra conversion speed, I believe that upgrade is, if I remember correctly. And getting good mass of Chariot Archers now. We're just a little bit thin on the ground for food. He has got a lot of town centres now. He's on 6 TCs to Cool's 4. Cool does have a bit of an edge on the eco count, but only 5 military units for the time being. Cavalry armour coming in. Obviously that's not really going to do anything against the chariots, or indeed the priest, which are now starting to come forward. And is that Siege Workshop? Oh no, it's Forward Temple, okay. That might be a little bit brave to be this in the open here, but I guess he has the Chariot Archers in the vicinity to defend that position there. Cool, just going full all in with the cavalry here. And see if that works out for him. The Chariot Archers do resist a little bit of the Camel's bonus damage. You can see they've got 4 cavalry armor. That's not going to go through. Oh, it did! Wow! Managed to convert right at the very last moment there. Deletes the house. These villagers are going to go for the run. With that wheel in again. Probably going to be able to get away with that. I don't know whether they're going to... Maybe they're just going to try and run to this TC here. Stone mining curiously coming in now for Cool. So maybe he's just going to start trying to push forward with towers. Or just put towers down for defense. 101 villagers now though for Cool. Working our way to Unrestricted 78. But militarily, Unrestricted with a very large lead here. And yeah, I'm curious as to why Cool... Oh, are we going to slip in another conversion there? No, that priest doesn't make... Yeah, I feel like these 2 temples were a little bit optimistic by Unrestricted. So the town centre coming down, so it is Watchtower, so that stone is just for try and get some map control. Is the conversion going to come through? No, not quite. Has he got the HP upgrade? Yeah, he does have the priest HP upgrade. We move back to the action here. Okay, so yeah, just Watchtowers getting planted down. Watchtowers can be fairly good at trying to sort of prevent Chariot Archers pushing in. Because their Chariot Archers obviously don't do very much damage at all to the towers. Whereas the towers can do a decent amount of damage back. Although that said, towers will need to be upgraded so they can actually match the range. Sentry Tower is coming in now, but Cool will need the artisan ship as well. With that said, Unrestricted are literally just diving into the towers at the moment, trying to punish the villagers before they can get the towers up here. You can see the eco kill number creeping up here. Sort of a little bit equaling that out. Still 20 ahead for Cool in the villager count. 40 chariot archers now to 25 cavalry though. I think there's still enough cavalry from Cool that he can still hold the position. One downside of chariot archers is they only do 4 damage. In fact, well, 3 against the cavalry, so it does take them quite a long time to take down the cavalry units. But yeah, these priests are the sort of X factor here, but again, Unrestricted not really getting those in the position he needs to get the conversions to swing the fight in his favour. Iron Age coming in for Cool now, and this could be what decides the game here. A lot of food being pumped into making those chariot archers urbanization and just to get the full in fact, I see watch for Cool. Urbanization is going to bring Unrestricted up to maximum pop space though, and we'll see if Cool switches into maybe, so I don't know, maybe like elephants, extra elephant archers possibly, or if he's maybe a little bit scared of the priests to go into that unit, or if he just sticks with cavalry and just upgrades them to heavy cavalry and just tries to go and push in with it. Oh, well, catch, he's actually broken through. Over chop on the bottom of the way, the wall there. Cavalry are going to get in. They're just going to hide away. Fortunately, those priests that hadn't really been utilised are probably going to get a few conversions in here. And I don't think... I mean, I was going to say a huge amount of damage. We've already got 18 Vil kills here now. I think that was only up maybe like 3 or 4 before. So considerable amount of damage down here. 50 villagers ahead now. Cool. Nearly at the Iron Age. 57 chariots to the 22 cavalry. But obviously Iron Age comes with a host of its own benefits. Let's have a look. Okay, is archery range so maybe it is just the elephant archer that is going to be put out on the field. We'll have to wait and see. As Cool's not actually started producing any units yet. It's got architecture and plough. Slightly unusual first choice technologies for the Iron Age. Looks like the Red Bull stream has started up now. 5% of people apparently interested for the AOE1 game on that poll there. That's kind of interesting. But anyway, we'll focus on the game now. Ballistics coming in, Coiners coming in. Still no military units being produced. So Cool's sort of taking his foot off the gas here. I guess he's trying to afford all the Iron Age techs. Still pushing for... Okay, it's actually just the horse archery he's going for. One of my favourite units in the game. Much more mobility. But yeah, 164 Vils for Cool. Unrestricted is halfway up to Iron Age now. And, I mean, with this number of chariot archers, if you just add in alchemy to the equation here, you can still do quite a lot of damage. The sentry tower is going to be very annoying for Unrestricted, though. I don't know if Unrestricted has a siege workshop anywhere. Looks like he's just hammering down the archer ranges of his own. But you can see how little damage is done to the sentry tower. Has the 4 pierce armor, basically entirely negates. I think you do like 0.2 damage a shot with horse archers. Guard tower in though, and a lot of these chariot archers are just going to get destroyed by the towers here. I don't really know what Unrestricted is doing, sitting under these towers. And the horse archers coming forward, alchemy nearly in now. And these guard towers doing absolute work. And I think it's a bit too late for the siege. That's the siege workshop there, but that's yeah, it's just going to get taken down by the villager. I think guard towers with all the range in actually outrange stone throwers as well. And this is starting to look like Cool's game to lose. Alchemy is nearly in with craftsmanship. Still is 40 chariot archers, handful of elephant archers as well. Obviously the Phoenicians get that unit much cheaper. But Carthaginians get it much healthier if they were to go to that unit, but just sticking with the horse archers for now. It's 8 damage compared to the only 4, which will be 5 now. But yeah, handful of villagers getting peppered down there. Just these guard towers being ever so annoying. And the storage pit, just I guess maybe trying to grab the gold there. Another handful of cavalry at the back. 170 vills. And just pumping 9 archery ranges worth of units. I wonder how we're looking for gold for... It's got 40 villages still gathering gold. Still the gold there. Just grabbing all the gold from the middle of the map. Both of these civs. Actually, no, Phoenicians obviously have the chariots. I was going to say a gold reliant, but I guess Phoenicians very much less so. They've got the chariots that lean back on. Big engage here. That guard tower is not quite going to go up. Unrestricted, like I said, still has a decent number of units. And this chariot archers, when they have the alchemy in, like I said, can still do decent damage. But now, elephant archers coming in. Absolute tanks. Engineering, craftsmanship finally getting the final range upgrade in as well. And I feel like it's going to be tough for Unrestricted to hold this for much longer. It looks like he's run out of gold. Yeah, still that gold he was trying to claim there. He's got 1,000 in the bank. He wants to keep adding elephant archers. What we've seen back here, siege workshop, so he's saving the gold for that. Getting engineering. I believe the Phoenicians don't get the catapult. I think they get stuck on the stone thrower. And still just seeing the push forward continued. I won't cut. I think technically I'm not allowed to. I have the stream on my second monitor, and I might do like. I don't know if I'm allowed to show the stream without getting in trouble because I don't have like casting permission. But what I might do is just like have the sound going. In fact, like you can hear it now. There we go. There's the boy Winston on the stream.
They had a map draft and a civ draft as well, but they're going to be playing just standard Tool Age gameplay.
That's that boy.
No D3 this time. The qualifiers did have a mix of both AOE1 Classic and in Age of Empires 2, Return of Rome. We're going to be featuring that today in this best of 5.
The Phoenicians' elephant bonus is they get cheaper elephants.
And we'll see how it goes.
I think that's
faster elephants is the Persians.
We were talking about behind the scenes about this, you know.
But yeah, I'll keep that a little bit quieter. In fact, I'll just mute it for the time being still. We'll focus on the end of this game here. I think it's going to be over fairly soon. Well, I mean, Unrestricted still has a decent amount of army, but like compared to Cool. I mean, to be fair, I think he's fairly strong in their version of the game that they play. I mean, do you think you could beat CSDN at D3? Bongo? Yeah, we're just seeing, I think this is going to be sort of like the final battle here now. Unrestricted, basically out of gold. Yeah, in fact, yeah, Cool's taken control of that gold now. They are very strong. It's quite rare to ever see actual fire guys come out. Oh, yeah, well, it's like Rise of Rome is like basically impossible to play unless you've played. Oh my god, massive hit from the catapults there. Well, I thought it was going to be D3 mode they were playing, but I think he just said they're not playing D3. But yeah, I don't think the Vietnamese players really know RTR meta at all. So I think it's just going to be absolute madness. And I think a lot of us are going to be a little bit sad by the gameplay standard. But like I said, we're going to try and be positive about the whole thing. But for the time being in this game, Unrestricted is holding the line just about for the time being. That said, there is a huge group of horse archers that are kind of just waiting to push through. Like they're playing some sort of trumpet thing on the Red Bull stream at the moment. Wait, the stream's actually outdoors? I guess they're in Spain, so... Yeah, like I said, I feel like we're just kind of waiting for the final push here. A lot of damage being done on the elephants there, but like I said, very tanky units for the Carthaginians. You can see 750 health, extra 25% on the regular 600. Very tanky boys. I feel like... Okay, Unrestricted taps out, fair enough. I was going to say, I feel like these horse archers could have just dived through. And there we go, 2-1 to Cool in the end. So... GG's to Cool. Well done to Unrestricted for winning a game as well, though. And there we go. That's the show match. GG's, well played, everyone. Like I said, we do have a show match on later. Yeah, the temples in the middle of the map were a little bit over zealous, I think, on that one.